Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the race this evening, Talladega. This isn't Talladega. We're at SMO Raceway, SMO Speedway. Wow, we should start this broadcast over again. Thanks for watching Tarnation TV. We are here with the SMO Gaming Simulations 20-year anniversary. They've been at it for a long, long time. They even have their own speedway named after themselves, SMO Speedway. My name is Blaine, joined with Rod. How you doing this evening, sir?
I am wonderful. Up for a new venue tonight. You know, we're not used to our normal thing with other leagues. We're off of the SMO tonight, and a very interesting track. Very, very. I think it's going to makes for some good racing.
Yeah, it's cool. They have their own track. They've been around a while. It's all branded, fresh. We were here last year, and it is now. They've done some new texturing on the front straightaway, which includes the Tarnation TV logo, which is super neat.
That's cool. That was really nice of them guys to kind of spice it up a little bit, make it, you know, good for us and looks cool. So,
yeah, I got in there. Chris let me know last night. He said, you have to download the track. It's different from last year. I'm like, oh, okay, cool. And then I went and I grabbed it because I needed to take a new screenshot because I was like, oh, geez, I made a thumbnail for YouTube. I want to make sure it's, you know, I'm using the right track, thinking drastic change. It's pretty much exactly the same, but yeah, they did change a lot of the banners on the front straightaway.
Yeah, and it's kind of cool tonight. I got in here and, you know, I didn't really know how many people we'd have tonight, and guys from other leagues that we race with and such have come over and trying this out, and it's going to be a new experience for a lot of them too. So it'd be pretty cool to see how well they do compared to some of the guys over at SMO. I know that a lot of guys that come over here are pretty good, but some of the guys that do race here are very, very good too.
Yeah, I think it was Chris last week. I think he got his like 200th win because it's the 20 years of racing the game. And I guess he's tracked all those stats over the years. And 200 wins, this guy. So, yeah, these guys are good. That's why they run the leagues.
I raced with Chris a little bit here just as of recently. I race in another different league. I run with him a little bit. I've beaten him, but he's also beaten me. We've had a lot of nose-to-tail finishes, and the kid's a talent. There is no doubt about that.
Yeah, a lot of good talent here. We broadcasted a tribute race for Kenny Tedder. We got another one coming up in the next few months. I think it might be way deep in the year, actually. I think it's near like September or something for another fallen member of their crew here. And very cool for them to tap us to do those things, especially on this tribute race for fallen drivers.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. It's a great thing to be here. I do have to kind of break a little bit and mention there's something out there. I want to say a shout out to my daughter, Mackenzie. Today is her 21st birthday, April Fool's baby. So I just wanted to say hi to her and wish her a happy birthday. We're going to be going out to dinner here pretty soon, have a drink together, so that'll be kind of fun.
That's funny. I forget about the April Fool's thing because it never really comes around, but it's cool. April Fool's baby.
Yeah.
And there's the leap year babies too, right? People that are born the 29th of February. That's another strange one.
Yeah, but doesn't that go to the fact where they only get a birthday every 4 years, right?
Right. Yeah, exactly. So if you turn 40, you're technically only 4. Or
right.
No, 10. Sorry.
10, yeah.
That's horrible math. But yeah, it's like, I'm only 10 years old. I've only had 10 birthdays. So that's how it works, right?
I suppose that could be.
So I'm just looking at the track stats here. We got 55 mile an hour pit road speed. I don't know if they've adjusted that. I can't remember if this is the one where they've adjusted it. But cool track under the lights this evening.
Yeah, it'll be fun to watch these guys get around here. Not quite this typical Talladega or, kind of track. I've been out there a little bit for practice. It seems though, I think if you get enough cars maybe in a line, it might get a little tight, but like I said, I haven't been out there with a full field of cars to really get an idea of how it's going to feel. So we'll see. It could be an interesting race. It's wide open, kind of, I guess you'd say it kind of looks like Rockingham on steroids.
Yeah, it does look like they've sort of a heavy inspiration from the Rock. And it's one of those tracks too, like you said, it's wide open and it's multiple lanes because you can race 3 wide, 4 wide, all the way around this thing. And it's a ton of fun, very, very grippy, no matter what direction you want to go into the turns. It reminds me, yeah, like you said, of The Rock, or even there's another fictional track called Edgewater that races much like this too. It's just the right amount of banking. Edgewater doesn't have the dog leg on the front straight. This one has the dog leg.
Yeah, it's pretty neat. I mean, I'm watching the guys out there now rolling around, and they're nose to tail, just similar to like you would see at Talladega. But in the corners, you can see, I think, some of the guys behind them getting just a tad tight, not enough to really slow them down, but.
Yeah, it's a very cool thing. I'm going to just mess with the cameras here so the live viewers. The thing with this track that first time on this track for me was a little bit confusing at first. The pitting actually takes place on the back straightaway, where the actual front straightaway, where the flag stand is, completely, it messed me up. Let's just say there's a couple of different pit roads here. There's one on the back and one on the front. So your flag stand is on obviously the front straightaway. Well, on the back straightaway is where the cars will be pitting. So you really do need to know where you are on this track when you're looking to come in for tires and whatnot. Don't go in where you would normally enter, because guess what? You're going to be in for a rude awakening, and that pit road's going to be empty, and you're going to be going, where's my stall? I'm like, oh God, I pit on the back straightaway. So I'm kind of looking for, possible mistakes from drivers who aren't used to this track. That could be pretty fun to watch. If somebody ducks into that front straight pit lane, you're going down the wrong road.
So are you saying it's kind of sort of, probably a lot of people out there wouldn't understand this, but like the Bristol track, the original Bristol track in the NASCAR 2003 season, there is a little small opening in turn 3, or turn 4, I should say, but you don't use that. You actually go down the backstretch, through the backstretch pits, all the way around to the front stretch pits. Is it kind of like that?
No, because this track's 1.77 miles in length. There's actually 2 full-length pit roads, one on the front and one on the back, and you don't use the one on the front here. You use the one on the back.
Oh, okay, now I get it. Oh, yeah, that is going to mess people up, ain't it?
Yeah.
That is wicked.
Yeah, because right here we're looking stationary camera just in the tri-oval, and you can see the flag stand down there by the start-finish line. Those cars are crossing it right now. That pit road on the left, that's an inactive pit road. That's not the pit road. That's not the pit road you're looking for any Star Wars fans. You want to drive past the flag stand and then go into the pits, coming at a turn number 2 to turn number 3 and 4, and then and that's very strange because usually you're pitting off of 4, not off of 2.
I can see how that.
Yeah, not off of 2. Yeah.
I can see how that is going to confuse a few people until they get used to that.
So yeah, we'll keep an eye on this thing, because if you see somebody's coming down the pits and we can see all those logos on the grass, that's the wrong side of the track.
I was just watching Brian Level, who had just exited the pit, and so and they exit right out basically on the turn 4.
Mm-hmm. Yep, and no grass. So if you're going down a pit road and there's grass between the wall and the actual track, that's the front side pit road, which obviously, like right here, we're watching this now on Larry Windham. That pit road is not in use tonight. So it should be neat to see, because I made the mistake in practice, which is why we have practice, obviously, going, I don't know why I keep missing, because sometimes I was hitting it and sometimes I wasn't. And then I realized, I'm not looking at the same thing right here. Like, this is a double, because you don't expect a track that's 1.7 miles in length to have 2 completely independent pit roads. Where Bristol, back in the old days, they actually used to crisscross, because there's an entrance and an exit for each side, and that's only a half-mile track. That pitting in and out was crazy, and you had to remember, however you qualified, which one to go for.
Oh yeah, there's a few tracks that they still do that. Even actually, sometimes even that happens when you are racing at Bristol and you're actually are pitting on the backstretch, and you pull in and you're going down the backstretch, because you're, like I said there, you have to stay go in turn 2 and drive all the way around to get to the front stretch. And if you don't realize you're on the backstretch, and then, you know what I mean, you drive right by your pit stall.
Well, see, yeah, and that's a thing. Yeah, because the original Bristol was two separate, two independent pit roads. So there was 2 entrances and 2 exits. And then you had, what did I just do? Something happened. I might have just blown the game up.
Oh, no.
Yes, I think I did. But that was the thing. Then they changed it because I remember they had to patch the game because how did that work? Yeah, they had to patch the game because NASCAR changed the rule where it was, it's getting pretty dangerous, obviously, where you've got these, 2, like an entrance and an exit for each pit road on a half-mile track. They're like, okay, we're going to have everybody enters in one and then everybody comes out of the other side, and you have to go, like you said, it's a long drive all the way around, but everybody has to do the long drive all the way around. It made it safer for the cars getting in and out, but they actually patched that because the original release of NASCAR 2003 had that original, the original 2 independent pit roads at Bristol, which was crazy, crazy fun because making a mistake was horrible. If you went in the wrong one, you're like, oh no, I didn't see I got to pit off, I got to pit on the front stretch. I got to pit on the back stretch. You got to remember where you are because that's a small track. Have you ever done a full race at Bristol in here?
I don't think I've done a quite full race there. I've done, quite a few races, and I've done some, I believe, 50% races, but I've never done a 100% race. I don't know if I've ever done a 100% race in any of the NASCAR tracks.
Oh, wow. I did it at Bristol with artificial intelligence. It's a long day.
I bet.
Only had a couple of yellows though, which made it go by a lot quicker. So I don't remember where I finished, but yeah, it's a lot of fun to if you get used to the artificial intelligence because they do some weird stuff sometimes.
Oh yeah. So I just heard from the admins, they whispered in my ears that they are going to restart the server because they've got just one car that's getting there with the wrong number and some other stuff. So they reset it just to get everybody in, get it situated.
Oh, perfect. So they've got you on Whisper. So you're talking to Chris?
I can talk to them basically through our little helper there that we have in the broadcast booth there. They can whisper in his ear and then into my ear basically, and we'll get it. That helps us out. That's something we've got going on here. To kind of make it interesting and helpful, we can move people around and do stuff. Well, the admins have been, whispering to me and kind of letting me know what's going on, making sure I have any issues or whatever. Because it's been a little bit of hectic here trying to get everything squared away and ready for tonight.
Awesome. So they are qualifying now. I just aborted my run there.
Okay, buddy.
And we should talk about too. We got a busy weekend coming up. The King of Kings Eliminator, hosted by Ken Roberts himself over at Talladega Nights Racing League. The Eliminator King of Kings is going to be a lot of fun. We're going to be watching the back of the pack the whole night because it's a knockout. It's a knockout event. And if you don't want to be in last because you're going to be asked to leave the track as we work our way to like about a 12 car sprint to the finish. So the King of Kings Eliminator, April 6th, Saturday at, I believe we go live at 9 p.m.
That is going to be a little bit different way to be doing a broadcast. I was thinking about that the other day. I'm like, so instead of focusing on the front, we're going to be focusing on the last place guy. And I'm like going, this is going to be a little different.
It's cool, man. The guys, I mean, this game's been around for so long. The simulator has been around for so long. And everyone has these ideas. There's so many different kinds of races that I've seen take place on this thing. And the Eliminator is another one that, we're going to watch the battle for not being last.
And that's going to be cool.
Yeah.
And of course, too, we've got another mega marathon race coming up. I believe it's on the 27th. And instead of 7 tracks, we're going to be doing 8 tracks.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they're cutting out the main event. Yeah.
A little different format on it. We're going to do a little bit different format, which is pretty similar, but instead of having the big race at the end, it's just going to be kind of a combination, I believe, of 8 sprint races. So that'll be pretty cool.
Yeah, among 4 different tracks, which is very, very cool. I think it's, Talladega. It's going to be Talladega, Homestead, and Cali. And then they had a Freedom Motorsport, I think is the fictional track that's in there. So Jeff's all about trying some new tracks. You know, people love Talladega and it's always going to be available. But if we run sprint nights over there, come on out, do some sprints. And Talladega Nights Super Speedway, of course, will be in the mix every single time. But guess what? The other two tracks, because it's always going to be a 3-track, 6-sprint night. And they got it in the works right now. They're looking at making it a reoccurring event. So it could be very cool, almost like a track showcase, if you will. Like, oh, I've never heard of this. And they've been testing tracks all week too. So, and then another thing, NASCAR race in 2003 season, if you want to get out and do some racing, there's tons of great leagues, and even if you're testing tracks, you're still driving. So there's no shortage of people out here that want to race. And SMO, arms wide open, man. You want to come race with these guys, they will they will welcome you with open arms.
I actually race with them Monday nights. Normally, I'd be out here racing with them tonight. It's a non-points night. I'm currently 4th in points behind. I know Chris Aiken is the lead guy, and then there's Josh Boyer, and I believe the other one is Viper. He is, I believe, the guy that is in the mix in there. So they just started a new season with them. Great group of people. We have a lot of fun, and good racing. Very good racing.
Yeah, the racing, it is, man. Like I said, there's so many great leagues around. And this is just one of them. You know, consistently every single week, you're going to get a lot of people out here that want to have some fun. And it's a ton of fun. I can't really say it enough. There's, if you're into this thing, the game was abandoned so long ago. Get out here and just get my camera set up again. Just get out here and race with these guys. Like I said, open arms, man. Like, hey, can we come race on Mondays? And they'll say yes. So
I really think it's time for us to do something that we haven't done here.
I was just going to say that.
Let's take out the Tarnation TV number 72 car. Of course, normally driven by our friend Blaine here. Put me behind the wheel and let's see what happens.
Yeah. So Rod on the track got down there with his wireless. A Tarnation TV 72 painted by yours truly, Blaine Donlin. If I can pat myself on the back.
Okay, so now I'm out here trying to figure out this. We're going to have to try the pitting too, just to see what happens.
You got to remember where you are on the track, because like we said before, this isn't your normal. This is definitely not your normal pit entrance here.
It is very strange coming out onto the track and going to the start-finish line. I can't think of any track that I've ever done that with before.
So what do these lines feel like out here? Are you going to go for a couple of spins before you attempt to pit?
Oh, absolutely. I'm going to management the 40 car here right now.
Who's on you there? That's Javier Negron in the 40.
Usually driving the number 4, so that's why I didn't know who it was until I should have known when I looked at his name and see the sun drop.
That's it. He's always driving the sun drop. Yep. Big thanks to SMO as well. They got the Tarnation TV logo in the turns. They've also got it up on the billboard in the corner there. I just noticed that. Right there in the corner.
As I went through the corner, as I figured, I'm still wide open. It's still going great, but it does have that tendency to feel just a little bit like I'm sliding the front tires just a tad. Not here in turn 3 and 4, but down in the turns 1 and 2, just a tad tight.
From the top, from the high line there, or from the middle?
It's kind of like when I was down the low line. I'm going to try the high line this time to just see how that feels. Much better on the high line.
Yeah, a little bit easier. Not as much, don't have to lift as much.
It's like we always say here at Talladega, you get down at the bottom of the track. Sometimes it doesn't seem to want to turn because you're kind of pinching the car down. Now here, up on the high side, it just feels like it's, to me, more drivable.
Yeah, I've always been a big fan of the high line there. Javier is all over you.
Yeah, he keeps giving me a few nudges here once in a while just to move me along a little faster.
Yeah, this track is fast enough, but the bump drafting can come into play a little bit, but it can also be the old bump and run too.
Yeah, now we're going to see if we can make it on the pit road. So we're going to have to wave our hand out the window to Heavy Hour, let them know that we're headed down pit road.
Yep, we are definitely not in contact with Heavy A. So, as most people know who play this sim, we have hotkeys set up for certain chat responses. You can hit a key on your keyboard and it'll type across the bottom. I'm going into the pits. You can see right there, Javier saw that message and moved out. Arrows on the track marking the entrance, 55 miles an hour.
I can't wait to see people do that. It is definitely a different way to enter the pits.
How was it getting down there with the transition? Sometimes it gets a little slippery.
I didn't seem to have too many problems, but there again, I didn't really push it so hard that I was like a normal would pit.
That's
I
awesome.
didn't want to spin the car out and look bad. Let me get out of this thing and be back in the booth, and we'll get ready to do a little fun with the broadcast.
Awesome. Thanks again to everybody watching on YouTube. Mackenzie Weston says hi. Happy birthday. In the YouTube chat. Midnight Radio Gaming. I would be racing tonight, but my pedals screwed up. Viper 24 out of the race. Oh my goodness.
No Viper today?
No Viper today. He's in the YouTube chat saying the 24 Viper would be racing tonight, but my pedals are screwed up, so that's unfortunate.
This is Chris on a Whisper. You got a copy?
Oh, we got Chris on Whisper. 1 second. Go ahead, Chris. We got you.
Okay, buddy. Fired up here. Remember,
Let's get in some reports that Rod is having some issues with his mic. I don't know if you were aware or not.
Yeah,
that was fixing some stuff.
That should only be, I'm hoping, for the little segment we just did there.
Okay.
His mic was clipping a little bit, but I think we got it figured out for the rest of the race.
Okay, perfect.
Yeah, well, that was fun. Haven't done that for a few days, but that was kind of neat. It's going to be an interesting track. Can't wait to see how everything pans out.
Yeah, I guess Chris was whispering to me there, Rod, that we're having some issues with your mic with the clipping, so maybe I wasn't going crazy. Can you back that thing away from your mouth a little bit?
Yeah, I guess I can.
Cool. That might work out. Yeah, that sounds a little bit better.
Okay.
I think it might have just been with our in-car thing. Oh, I need to retire my car here. I think it might have just been with the in-car thing because I have that Whisper microphone in-car thing on a different filter that really does compress the audio. So I think that might have been it.
So, my buddy Josh Boyer is on the pole. Raced with him many different leagues in a lot of different ways, and he is a talent. He's talented behind the wheel, but one thing you do not want to do is bet against him in golf.
Oh, yeah.
So I was jumping in there, getting everything kind of squared away, and I clicked on to Happy Hour. Well, look at who was fastest in Happy Hour. Thank you, Happy Hour, for that little push.
Oh, did you get the Happy Hour record?
Yeah, I was the fastest in Happy Hour. That was pretty good.
That's awesome.
I like that. All right, so now we're done playing around. Let's get into doing some broadcasting here. That was fun.
I've got all fun and games, yeah.
I hope everybody liked that. And there's something different we were going to try tonight. We'll perfect that a little bit more as we get along with it, but that was kind of cool.
Yeah, as broadcasters, it's usually one or the other, where it's just, you're either broadcasting or we're driving, so you can't do both. But tonight we pulled it off. We found a way. Yeah.
We've got the head admin of the SMO League, Jamie Tedder, outside pole. So that was a good run for him.
And you're saying it's Josh Boyer on the inside with 41?
Yep. Josh Boyer.
I like that lime green on the roof there, those bright numbers easy to see.
Rocky boots.
Yeah.
Rocky boots. He's either got Rocky boots or he's got something to do with a golf theme.
Those are good boots, man. Those Rocky ones. I think the police wear those things. I remember delivering them to police stations.
Like I said, he's one of the guys. I'm not going to say he's one of the guys that you're going to want to watch for the win tonight at a super speedway, because super speedway is where It all depends on who's behind you and who's your friends. But most tracks, especially some of the short tracks in super speedways, cookie cutters, he's pretty talented.
Anybody in the YouTube chat, as far as Rod's mic goes, yeah, just let us know if him backing it off a little bit helped. What I'm hearing, it sounds better, but I mean, then again, I can't listen to both the final broadcast. I don't know what changed. It just seems a lot louder today. I did turn it down a little bit, but it doesn't seem to be working, but we can work on that later. At least we can hear you. We've done broadcasts in complete silence before, not even realizing none of the mics work.
And hopefully, you know, we're not listening to electric cars tonight.
No, it looks like we've actually got meters that are flashing here, so the car engine sounds should be good to go. Boyer slipped back a little bit there. That zero car, John Wall, to the front.
Got one of the admins in there, the number 19 to Chris Aiken. He's back in 16th spot right now, and you can see he's got a different paint scheme for tonight. Nothing that he's normally runs with us is something more of a purple car, but tonight he's in actually a pretty cool looking blue number 19, and with SMO on it, it looks good.
I'm actually missing a couple of cars. We were frantically kind of re-downloading everything to the last second. It looks like I missed a couple. Looks like the 51, which would be Roger Nebelsick, and I just saw there was another one back there too. I guess we can go back. Yeah, Nebelsick and Bob Sire. I see I downloaded Sire's car an hour ago, and something happened there because he's running a generic as well. But
I've got a few of them like that. I just was looking around a little bit. I see we got Doug Hillikus here, and you know, he's running a Tony Stewart kind of thing. I think he's probably just got a last minute thing in there. Larry D and the 188 Dunkin' Donuts car here tonight.
Somebody just disappeared right there. Yellow car just disappeared completely. I don't know if it's been disconnected. Probably has been disconnected by now. I don't even know who it was.
Of course, Corey's dad, Randy Waugh, he's out here tonight supporting SWO and SWM, sorry, and currently running in the 8th position. But Randy Waugh is a pretty good little super speedway racer. So once he gets this thing figured out, you know, he's one of those guys you just want to keep an eye on. He's usually quiet, but he's tries to get there near the end. Yeah, always there, especially on a super speedway.
It's funny how guys, like, you recognize their car paints and everything else, and they're just kind of in the mix the whole time, and it's just normal to just see him there, always at the peripheral vision, just putting along, you know, holding his line, not being aggressive, but Randy's always there. We might not talk about him all the time, but he's always seems to be there. I wonder if Corey is watching. Corey usually does watch these races, so Corey, if you're watching, thanks, bud.
I actually talked with Randy Waugh about it and asked him if Corey was going to be watching. He said he was back down home in Florida. He wasn't sure if he'd be watching tonight, but if he's out there, Corey, we're thinking of you, bud. Oh, we got a big wreck down in the back stretch.
Oh, really?
Yeah. We've got Randy Waugh. There we go. There we go. The curse got him.
Yep. I'm trapped in camera loops here.
I got Randy Waugh involved in it, Tom Goodman involved in it, John Wall involved in it.
We'll load her up here, rewind it a bit. I switched
Not
cameras
sure
and
what
got caught
happened.
on the fence. Okay. Coming through turn.
Looks like John Wall just lost it on the exit of the corner a little bit.
That was weird.
Yeah, just a very, almost like a wheel issue. And when he did, he just collected a bunch of other drivers in it. One of the good things about here is they do not run damage. So as bad as that accident looked, we know everybody's still going to be able to get out and go back out and compete and get near the front and do hopefully well, you know, because of they do show some damage. So maybe they're running moderate damage tonight. Normally they don't. Normally they don't run damage. So.
Trying to get an angle here on Wall because that seemed like he just got turned out of nowhere almost on that one. I'm going to go in slow motion here. It looked like the car turned by itself. I mean, maybe he had some help. We're going to get a better look at it here now. Oh, I see. He overcorrected and snapped that thing into the wall. Yeah, it got loose on him coming out of the turn there, and then when he corrected it, the thing hooked right back up into the wall. But yeah, like we said, no damage, so this will just re-rack them. Go back live here. Let's see here.
I jumped down. Sorry about that. I jumped down and listened into the guys. I thought someone was saying something about that they had a issue with their connection, and that might have been what caused that accident.
Okay. I think it might have been Josh. He's showing 4 laps down. So let me get my tickers working. Everything seems to be... There we go. Sorry, everybody. 9 laps in and in darkness. Got it fixed. And after the server kicked out, it takes a couple laps to reset everything. But
yeah, the joys of computers.
Yeah, that's my bad. I forgot to check that out. So,
as one of my favorite sayings goes, the error is human. To really mess things up, you need a computer.
Yeah. I noticed. Are you wearing a headset? Because I can hear my voice sometimes.
You could hear. I don't know. I've got my mic up to my face, but we have the same thing set up the way we always have. So.
Yeah, and everything just seems boosted for some reason. We'll figure it out. There's Wall there getting full service. He's trying to get going. There he goes. These special paint schemes these guys are running are always cool to see too. That's why I'm it's too bad I can't see a couple of the cars out there like Neville Sick and Pumpkin, because these guys are probably running a unique paint job to this race, being an anniversary race, not a points race.
Some of the guys are running the cars they normally do. I know Josh Boyer runs that car there. Jamie Tedder's still running his. Mm-hmm. That's the car he normally runs. But I do know that, like, we got some of the guys from Talented Knights that came over here. A lot of them guys don't run this particular mod, so they have cars for the Cup version of this. So basically, they just took the cars, moved them over, and then brought them.
Yeah, when you do that mod to mod, it usually doesn't take too much tweaking to get them to kind of format over. I always keep my layer files for everything, so it's just a little shift here, little shift there. And I just noticed that Mike Mangialardi in the 029 running the Rainier car. He always gives his buddies of the Rainier room a shout out, so that's making sense.
It looks like after pit stops and everything, Josh Boyer went back as far as ninth, but he's back into the lead. So through the pit stop cycle, he kind of went back a little bit, but now he's back up front, closely being followed by Brian Level and Heavy R, Gron, and Doug Hillick is behind him.
Currently focused at the 766 of Jamie Tedder. He looked like he overshot his pit box there, but they still did service on it, so he must have hit that thing just perfect. And he runs a 766 in these special races, I think, because it's a combination of 2 different numbers for Ken. And I can't remember. You know what? I got it in my notes. I got to get that name. We are doing another broadcast for another fallen member of SMO. And his...
That's the car that he's been running with us since I've been over here. But there again, you know what I mean? I've only run probably about 2 or 3 races with him, looking for something to do on Monday night. Josh, too, said, hey, come on over and have some fun with us. So I've been running with these guys.
Yeah, it's cool. I'd have to ask Jamie Tedder again who the 7 and the 66 are, because you could buy the 2 numbers together.
Yep.
And yeah, the race that we are doing for SMO, the 14th annual tribute to Hawk, and that is August 4th. So they lock us down a year in advance for that one. 14 years they've had tribute race for Hawk, so we get to broadcast the 2024 version of it, so that'd be cool. There's Josh, too, there. Must have got disconnected, reconnected. He's still showing about 5 laps out. Josh Boyer in the 41, currently being clocked in first.
Got a few cars in front of him, so I think we're going to have a few...
waiver rates?
Well, now Boyer's headed down. They might be having some little confusion there because maybe letting people by to try to get them back on the lead lap or something. I'm not sure, or why Boyer's letting everybody by here.
Yeah, and then the 14 and the 40 and the 0. That's like the top. Yeah, that is different. Something must have happened in that yellow flag pit cycle there. Getting a look at Larry D's Dunkin' Donuts car. That's cool looking. I like the obnoxious colors. I love that stuff.
Actually, he said he jumped in earlier and he was talking about what he was going to do, what car he was going to run, and you know, I don't think Brad would have liked the car that he was going to run, so he decided to run the Dunkin' Donuts car tonight. And
no, he ran the Trump car for a season or two at Talladega Nights.
Yeah, oh yeah, he's run that car for quite a bit.
Rodney Sullins.
Oh yeah,
Awesome.
I didn't know that. I did not know that Rodney did that car. Rodney's a good painter.
I think he did. I think Rodney did do it.
Like I said, it was earlier where they were trying to get people squared away, and so I transferred the car over for Larry, and he goes, yeah. I said, you got a Trump car or Dunkin' Donuts? He goes, I'm going to run the Dunkin' Donuts tonight. I'm like, all right, cool. It's kind of a neat looking car, though.
It's a cool mod too. I do like it. It looks a little bit different from the Monster Energy 19 mod that we run. I mean, everybody has a series where they run the Monster Energy 19. Currently focused here on Doug Hulick. But this is a cool mod. I like this is the, what is it? The Gen 6 Bullring 2015 mod. Of course, we are running the truck physics to make them a little bit slower, a little bit less horsepower, a little bit
heavier. A little more drag.
Yeah.
And yeah, this is like, I think this is kind of pretty close to the first ones that they did after they got rid of the wing design.
Here we go, back to green flag racing, trying to find out who's in first.
That would be Chris Aiken.
And Chris Aiken in the 19. Yep. Being followed by Tom Goodman.
Tom Goodman.
33.
A.K.A. Fast Cow.
Oh, is that his name? Fast Cow?
That's his nickname, yeah, it's Fast Cow, yeah. And Tom Musa is right behind him. I run with those guys on Wednesday, Tom and both Toms, I should say.
I'm digging that number 4 car. The one that Musa's driving. That's cool looking.
He's a good little shoe. He runs a league that I run with sometimes on Wednesday, and we've had a lot of fun with that league.
Ooh, he's getting a little loose there. He's bumped up. And Josh to walk.
Should be another caution that was from there.
Yes, it is. Mike Mangialardi doing a couple of spinoramas. Might need some fresh rub. Oh, Mike Mangialardi got some help from Javier. Javier, give him another push, bud. Josh will help him out. Mike is on his roof, and Mike is getting towed. With no damage, I wonder why he was getting towed. Just let the guys bash you back over on your wheels again.
Well, yeah, sometimes that's the thing about like this game, that you have to be very careful about coming to a complete stop. And I've actually been, involved in an accident, moved forward, stopped so that it didn't hit anybody, and then got dragged off the pit road. Not on my own doing. It just took me off and put me on pit road.
Really?
Yeah.
Why? Because
I wasn't moving. You weren't moving.
It'll tow you automatic?
Yep. If you don't move for a period of time, it'll tow you right away.
That's true, yeah. Forgot about that. I've never had a problem flipping a guy over there when they're turtle shelled up like that.
Yeah. I just go into the field a little bit. We see Roger Nevelsek's here. He's another guy that I race with a couple of different leagues. Good guy. Really good guy.
Even I'm making the mistake. I thought they were coming to pit road right there, but we're on the wrong side of the track.
I was just gonna say, but they're not on the right side of the track for that.
I flipped to my pit cam. I'm like, wait, that's the wrong pit entrance, because we were talking about this before. Like I said, if you do express interest in racing with the crew over here at SMO, they race on Sundays and Monday nights. The website in the bottom right-hand corner of your screen, I shrunk it down because it's a long one. So tinyurl.com/SMO20th. Or in the link, there's the elongated link to the website below. It's a Google, free Google website, so you can get in there, sign up, get all the information you need to connect to the races and get your cars uploaded. And yeah, like I said, open arms right here. SMO League, very, very cool. I've been out here a bunch of times. And yeah, it's a good crew of guys. And the no damage is kind of fun because then you're not going to come out here and practice for an hour and qualify and then do some happy hour pitting practice and then get out here on lap 3 and then blow up. You know, you're here for the whole night. Well,
Yeah.
Unless you make a mistake shifting and actually do blow up.
To 20 years for a league, you know, I've known there's a few leagues that have been out there for quite a while, and probably some even more than that. But you know, for 20 years, that's pretty good.
Mm-hmm. Yep. You know, Pumpkin in the YouTube chat says he's still running the 27 Wild Turkey. I wonder why I can't see it, because I know I would have had that car if it wasn't a last minute change. I should have had it. Ulysses Sandoval in there too. What's up, Ulysses?
I had asked the question, you know, SMO, you know, what does that stand for? And it is Slim, Mavis, and Overkill. It's some of the original 3 guys that started their league. It's basically a play on their names.
Yeah, I remember. You know what? I knew it was the initials of the 3 founders of the league. I couldn't remember their names: Slim, Mavis, and Overkill.
Yeah. And their head admin is Jamie Tedder, as we said before.
Yep.
Viper, he basically does the car setups, stuff like that. They all have like little jobs, you know, car setups, testing. You know, Chris works on the scheduling. Josh too does the promoting. And I forget what Dick does around here. RC they call track design. He's the one that did all this work.
Yeah. He did the custom textures, I think.
Yep.
Currently,
like I said,
yep.
Like I said, great group of guys. If you're looking for a league to come and play with on a Monday night, they run, you know, 6 setup league, and they're just fun. It's a great group of guys to race with.
Yep. Currently focused on the 47, Andrew Miller, fellow broadcaster over there from Top Dragster. I don't know if he's done any broadcasts as of late, but we have seen him out on the track, different spots around here. So the Loctite 47, black and silver scheme, classic.
That's a nice looking car, though.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Andrew Miller's cool. He helped me out a couple times jumping in the Tarnation TV booth, and I was called upon by him to help him out, and I was like, yeah, let's do this thing. Awesome. Go to fire the game up. Doesn't work. And like it was like an hour before the race was, I could not get the game working. Turns out it just needed a reinstall for some reason. There was a file missing somewhere. So the only time I was ever asked to assist Andrew Miller on a broadcast, and that was the day, you know, the gremlins got in the computer and just broke my game, and I couldn't help him out. I watched him do it on YouTube live all by himself, and I'm like, I love doing this stuff, and I love sitting in the chair. You know, if somebody needs a hand, you know, if Seth Cole or Andrew Miller or anybody ever needed a co-host, you know, I'm like, let's do this thing, and drop the ball on that one.
Yeah, computers will do that to you sometimes. Yep. So I see we get Mike Mangialardi's the only one car that's one lap down, and Josh 2 is 4 laps down. He was 5, so they must have got one back on that last caution. Probably will get one back on this one. Still 17 cars on the lead lap.
Look at the wheels on the 043 of Brian Lovell. Those rims are awesome. I got to get a closer look at this.
Yeah, I see that here earlier. That car actually looks pretty cool.
Those rims are awesome. They got like the blue lug in the middle.
Yeah, there's some of these mods that are really cool, the way they can paint them. They allow you to change the wheels and stuff, which looks pretty neat.
Yeah. The lighting on this track is wild too. See if you're getting some really dark and some really bright images.
And they're going back green now.
Green.
Chris Aiken out in front. Was, if he still is, yeah. Oh, yeah, he got a wicked start on that one. Like I said before, you know, it runs like a super speedway, but you know, you can get a little loose, as we saw on the corners, a little tight. It's not quite like just the wide open as you would think, but it isn't, as in the corners are a little bit tighter than you'd have like at Daytona or Talladega. So that has leans a little bit to where you might be kind of leaning out a little bit and might get a little tight or a little loose. Interesting to see if we get a long run, how the cars react at, if it gets tight or loose.
Yeah, because that depends. You can drive the wheels off this thing too. If you like that low line, you're going to scrub more tires off. I don't know if they're running. I don't know the window they're running. Are they running a 2X or a 3X?
I'm not sure. I believe it's 2, maybe 3X, but I didn't get in. I do apologize. Usually I try to come a little bit more prepared, but as we got in here tonight, we were just rounding around trying to get everybody squared away because a lot of new guys to the league just come in here, run the 20th anniversary race with them, and just trying to help everybody out. So kind of missed out on getting some of that information.
We're looking at going 3 wide here. We got Neville 6, Sire, and Musa on the bottom, showing you how racy this track can actually get. Larry D in the mix there too. Guys are getting squeezed out against the top of the wall there. Josh Mercurio had to lift a little bit.
I was just going to say, Josh is out there on the outside with behind Spire, and I'm trying to see who that is just behind Spire. That's Nevelsek, okay.
Yeah.
Like there again, some of the paint schemes I don't have either. So it's, when you got the base themes, it's a little hard to see who they are. But
Goodman has closed the gap on Aiken for first place there.
That's a product. That's a product of the draft. You get one driver gets away. He's not going to get away too far when you got a track where 2 or 3 guys can get together and they'll run him down.
That's the thing. You got that huge launch off that restart there, and then they stick together and wait for the guy to make a mistake. And like this isn't a super speedway, so if you do make a mistake, it is amplified. Like a super speedway, you put your pedal to the metal, you just steer the car. But here you do have to really concentrate on your entry and your exit. It's not the most difficult track to run, but it does. We saw.
Material goes around.
We saw guys get loose coming out of the turns. Mercurio got right into the pit road there, so the yellow flag will stay. It will stay down. Actually, green flag racing here still. Oh, Goodman got turned across the grass on the front straight.
Here goes Tom Musa.
And that won't bring out a yellow either unless he slides up in front of someone. Yellow is...
So it was right on the edge of the track, so that brought out the yellow because...
Yeah.
Be interesting to see what happened there. I was kind of just focusing on Musa there and stepped away from front of him a little bit and missed what happened there. Fast Cow, I saw where I say Fast Cow, Tom Goodman there, he went around, so I didn't know if he went around off someone's bumper or...
He got a little bit of a drift there. And he just kind of spun right off the nose of Javier Negron.
And that was an accordion effect, and it got back to Tom Musa, and the car behind him gave him a little punt. And...
Yeah, Musa around in the grass as well, mowing the lawn.
Oh, we'll give him credit. He did a good job. He cut that one piece there that was standing a little too tall.
Yep.
But no, because we've talked about that at the super speedways, that accordion effect. When something happens, and the worst part about it is it happened up there with Tom Goodman and Javier, and then it went all the way back to 4 cars back until somebody got in trouble, and the guys in the middle of that, they weren't involved in it. They had a little bumper tag, but nobody, they didn't get spun or anything like that. So that's what makes it hard, because you will have that happen.
Yeah, it's a lot. There's a lot of room out here, but it goes away pretty quick. If you need that half a lane, sometimes it's not there.
You also got to figure too. So we've got guys from Talladega Nights. We got guys from SMO here. We got some of the guys that run on other leagues, but they also run here. Some of these guys have never raced together. So now it's right. Trying to figure out what this person will do, what that person will do, and Javier was right there. I personally think that maybe Tom was kind of coming up a little bit. Javier, I thought he probably had the room. They a little contact and around Goodman went.
Yeah, and looking at that replay too, there was nothing that Javier could do because he had that high line, and it was just Tom thought he was clear, and he wasn't.
Yep.
Or did I say
That'll
20?
happen.
It was
especially when you get these cars. These cars are hard to see out of, especially if you're running in the cockpit.
Yeah, the dash. Yeah, let's get a cockpit view here on Javier Negron. Let's see what these guys are looking at if they run cockpit. Very
Definitely.
cool cockpit, though. I do like this mod for how the interior looks.
Yeah, they're kind of cool. So the only thing which is funny with this one here, the Chevys and the Fords and the Dodges Toyotas all have different dashes. So it's kind of cool. And so, I used to run a Toyota, and I thought, that's because I just be different, a little odd, until I looked into the dash of the Dodge, and I'm like, oh, I like that dash better. So I went to the Dodge purely because my temperature and oil pressure gauge were in a better sight of view.
Yeah, there you go. There, we're in a Dodge right now, Josh 2. You can see the difference with the dash cluster.
Yeah, so your gauges here,
yeah.
Water temperature and your oil pressure right there in the top and the middle. So that's why I went to the Dodge.
And Dick Jordan, who we're sitting with now, is driving a Chevy, according to my telemetry.
Yeah, he's in a cat car.
Everybody coming down the pit road. Probably for full service here at 26 laps out of 70 complete. Getting ready to start, of course, lap number 27, but not right now, because remember, this is the back straightaway.
Michael Angelardi got the lucky dog the last lap, so I was a little mistaken on that. So now Josh 2 is the only one that's a lap down or more, so he will probably be our lucky dog, and he'll be only 3 laps down. So he's just hoping for only 3 more cautions, try to get himself caught back up on the lead lap, and then maybe that he get the opportunity to get there.
Yeah, tight squeeze coming up there. That was pretty awesome to see that. Didn't even.
Very tight. I was just going to say that.
Yeah.
Very tight off pit road.
Yeah, it looked like was it the 41 of Boyer has that last pit stall there, he qualified first, so he's the first off of pit road. He couldn't really get it in there all the way. He got it in there far enough. As long as all 4 wheels are inside the box, they can do service on the car. Because the car behind him, I do believe it was JB Tedder, was just, he landed perfect. And it's just, sometimes you just need the extra little bit of space, and you also don't want to spin yourself around. So
having that
figure it out.
Having that first pit stall sometimes at most of the tracks is a real big advantage.
Huge.
You literally just huge. Sometimes you just step on the gas and you're out there. And Larry D, he's took over the lead after this last caution. I'm imagining he probably didn't pit and probably figured it'd be safer being out front where you like to run. Like I always said, I like to stay in the back for a little while, but he figured he'd take the safer option and stay out near the front.
Some bonus points too if he plans. Oh no, this isn't a points race, so it doesn't matter.
Oh, points. If it was a points race, I wouldn't be here. We'd be doing the broadcast from inside the car.
Yep. Yeah, it's a cool little event these guys do every once in a while, special events for no points. But, we do have 23 drivers. Is it 23? 20. We have 20 drivers. Sorry, 19. Kiara Reynolds always just spectates from within the game. So we have 19 drivers on track. And we are going here green to begin lap number 28.
Josh McCarroll is right behind Larry D, followed by Chris Aiken and Brian Lovell. Javier Negron is in the back of them in the 40. I got to get used to saying 40, not 4. And the old sun drop. Can't miss the sun drop.
Yeah, he can't run 4 here because that's Tom Musa.
Yep. There was a few drivers out there, like Denny Carroll, who showed up. He was going to run the 041 because Boyer's in the 41. Right. Just the guys that run their own track or home league, I should say. They have the same number, but when you come into over here, you've got to switch it. So most of the time, they just put a 0 in front.
Yeah, that's what I do. I'm either 72 or 73, depending if it's taken or not. It seems to be a number range not a lot of people use, so 72 is usually available, but there was a year at RTG when I joined anyway. Both numbers are available now, but
Well, that's
I had
what,
to
and
move
that,
up to 73 because somebody was already 72.
of course, in the first broadcast, that number got me in trouble because Frank Dibbins was running the 909 technically, but 9 didn't have the O in front of it. I was thinking it was Chris Elliott.
Yeah, that's the thing. If you run the 0, most leagues don't require you to put it on the car. If it comes before your number, you can leave it off. So if you were like, if Josh Mercurio is 99 and somebody else wanted to run 99, they could be the 099. But the cars could look exactly the same.
Larry D's still out in the lead out there, but off that exit of that corner, he got a little light on him.
Fastest lap of the night goes to Chris Aiken, 186.074 mile per hour. And that's 34.4 seconds.
This is an interesting concept, really, to super speedway style of racing. Josh Mercurio pulls down to the bottom to try to get around Larry D with a little help from Brian Lovell. A track that, unlike Talladega and Daytona, most of the time it's just wide open, and you don't get loose, you don't get tight. It's just using strategy, and where these guys here are having a little bit of a handling issue, that's kind of neat. I like that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, like you get a little, you mess up your entrance, you get a little push, you slide up the track, you lose some speed. Somebody's going to capitalize on that. They're looking at going 3 wide here, but Mercurio shuts that down.
Adds an interesting episode to it for sure.
Oh,
there goes
right there.
3 wide out. Well, 3 wide out front. Brian Lovell at the bottom. Heavy underground. Oh, heavy underground got in the back of Brian and just lost the nose of that and spun around. We got a bunch of cars piled up in this one. Larry D comes out with the lead out of that.
Yep, Larry D in the right spot, and we got cars every which place.
There we go. I was trying to figure out which car was rolling, and it was Roger Neville second, the 51, was barrel rolling down the backstretch there a little bit.
So do we need to rewind that and see how many Corys?
Just happened to be watching Javier, and he got in the back of Brian. I just pretty much, I think, to try to give him a little help, and when he did, it upset his car just enough, and it sent him off into the wall, and he got collected by a few others coming behind him.
Yeah, and that's, and especially on the back straightaway there's no grass, so there's nowhere to go. The track's just flanked by, 2 walls, so you get that pinball kind of thing where you're going to go one way, you're going to come back. Where if that would have happened on the other side of the track, they would have gone into the lawn, and a lot more cars would have got through that.
Josh Mercurio is up into third now, and John Wallbanger. I don't know. We have a lot of fun with his name, but John, he's a good little shoe. Another guy you'll see up front, and especially if you get onto like a shorter track, he's a really good short track driver.
Right.
Randy Waugh, though, is right there in 5th. We talked about him earlier. Well, wait a minute. We're not supposed to talk about Randy, because then if we do, he ends up spinning or getting spun or flipping or.
What's the attendance here tonight? This is a full house. Looking at those grandstands, it looks like we got about 100,000 people in this place.
To see some good racing.
Yeah, very cool. This is a very unique track because it's unique to this league. I can't remember if this track was built from the ground up to be specific to the league or if it was retextured version of something else. Nobody took to the pits.
My understanding, I had a little chat with Josh Tew and Chris Aiken about it, just because when they started talking about this track, I was like, well, what is it? And that's where I got the Rockingham reference, and it's basically something that somebody that in the league when they first started built. So it is not a copy of anything per se. I mean, I imagine. You got to do some stuff like that, but it's their own built track.
That's cool. Or even if you took Rockingham and stretched it out, you could still do that. And then you've got elements that you can save some time on. Like, I like the banking in that corner, and you can kind of just amplify that. And it might be easier to work with existing assets, but it's cool that this is actually a unique track built for this league specifically. It's pretty neat. Yeah,
then if you're going to do that and you're going to copy Rockingham, you might as well copy the tire wear too, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. That'd make an interesting asset to this race if your tire just fell right off.
Yeah, that I remember. Yeah, as Rockingham, you'd be running fine for 20 laps, and then all of a sudden,
boom!
You're like, oh, it's getting a little slippery out here, and then you check your tire wear, and like, I'm 50%. What happened? Like, just literally within a lap or two, the car is just completely. You have to change your driving style.
Absolutely, and it's kind of like the older Darlington, where the same thing, where the tires would fall off, and you go out and you turn a really fast lap, and then you're like, well, that was good. Let's see if I can do better. And the next lap, nope, it's slower. And the next lap, nope, it's slower. Tires fall off so quickly.
And I love that about this sim too, is the fact that you can have that fall off, and then you don't need to pit to get your tires right away. You could still run around there 5-10 laps. You just have to drive different.
Yeah, but you'll find if a track wears tires like that, everybody pits. It does not matter. Because the advantage of new tires, you say 10 laps into a race, a caution comes out, and you've got 2 or 3 guys that go in and get 4 tires versus the guys that stay out. They're going to run them. They're going to run them down. They're going to just drive right by them because the grip's so much better.
Right. And that's the thing, too. That's a lot of strategy. You could take it a little bit easier and like, oh, you're not really passing much in the first half of this race because you're saving those tires for chasing those guys down at the end of a tire run. You've got more tire left.
I have to do something here pretty soon under a caution. We're going to have to see if we can't drag a driver up here.
We haven't run one. It was taking a long time on pit road there. Just curious about that. He went in 11th. It seems like an extra long pit stop for Josh Boyer.
Yeah.
We're going to see when he comes across the line here. Saying he went in 11th. And there's the stripe right there. It's got him in 17th. So he lost a few spots. Not as many, I guess, as I thought. But that puts him at the, actually, you know what? 17th position is at the last car on the lead lap. So
this is also the other thing, too, though, is we really didn't get a chance to do was to try to figure out fuel mileage.
Mm-hmm.
There's again, I was apologize for that because we were going to work on that. But like I said, I got a little busy and didn't get a chance to take advantage of that. But Brian Lovell's going to come out with the lead after everything is kind of situated after that caution with people pitting. He was one of the ones that decided to stay up, and I do see what you mean by the rims. Those look pretty cool.
Yep. All spoked out in chrome. And the Valvoline paint scheme is always cool.
You can't beat the classic Valvoline paint scheme. No. They're pretty cool.
There's like some classic ones that never quit. You got Valvoline, always awesome. STP, that Richard Petty stuff, always awesome. I always love, like Ken says, with the DeWalt, that black and yellow. Just super cool.
Never gonna run out with the SCP. Come on now, that one's a classic.
No, I think
never going back green.
Yeah, it's probably one of the best ones ever. That Mark Martin number 6, though, that was a cool looking Valvoline car.
Absolutely.
Ugliest car ever was probably Dale Jarrett with the UPS, the brown and the gold.
I have to agree with you on that one.
But I love colors that are ugly. So, I mean, I'll be the guy painting a brown car with a pink stripe. I mean, that'll be me. And Jeffrey Elliott would probably force me to do it, or force me to give it to him, because he likes the ugly stuff, too. It sticks out on the track, right?
That's cool. Josh McCrew, he's been up there quite a little bit in the front. He's keeps poking his nose out to see if he can find some room to get past whoever's in front of him, and hasn't quite done it yet. Every time he gets kind of close to it, then we end up getting a caution. But
yep,
he's a talent. Well, wasn't it that he won the last race that we did in the? Trying to think if he was the one the last race of the Mega Marathon. I believe he was.
Not a popular corner. Coming off of turn number 2 there is not a popular part of this track. Yellow flag is up again.
Seems like a lot of people are getting loose off that corner.
Mm-hmm. I'm going to back that up a bit and see. Neville caught up in it again. He came late to the party and still couldn't get through it, unfortunately.
Has not been his night.
Yeah, the wrecking is going on, and he actually almost had it saved, but he was among about 5 cars. He actually got forced down pit road.
And then I didn't catch the number right there quick. He's spinning it around. Lost him in the smoke here. Another white car. Looks like...
Yeah, I see what happened. Larry D made a lane change there right across the nose of the 21 Randy Waugh.
But that does seem to be the calamity corner. Everybody seems to have a little bit more issue off that one.
Yeah, and then some of the guys are going, and they're actually spinning out and getting caught on pit road, which means they then have to run the 55-mile-an-hour speed limit. I don't know if the pit road on the front straight, which is not used as a pit road, if you have to obey the speed limit on that one. If you got trapped in this one we're looking at now, I wonder if they could run full speed down it.
I know that, like at Martinsville, they had that kind of a, the backstretch has a little short pit stall, which is the old one. You could get caught speeding down that. So it'd be interesting to see if they did that when they designed the track.
Yeah, if it was a real track, then it would definitely be under a speed limit. I'm curious if this track was built with that, or if it's just another part of the racing surface with a wall. Like, it might just be drivable.
And that would be just in the track file when how they designed it and where where it starts, where it ends, and such. That would we'd have to look into that to find out if it does. But yeah,
I've
seen that though.
I just had a thought.
Oh no!
If the pit road that we use has the pit lane speed limit, and the track builder just put another pit lane in because it was funny, and didn't mark it with a speed limit,
I know where you're going with this.
Could they use it as a shortcut?
I was just going to say the same thing, because it is a straighter way to go. That is an interesting concept.
I wonder. Let me see here. Let's grab pit lane 2, and we're going to go for a ride here. We're going to check this out. So, drone cam in effect. I'm curious if... Oh, you totally could run full speed down that and not even have to slow down.
So the question would be, if you're designing this track, would you leave that open for that?
I don't know. I think I would.
I don't know.
I mean, it would be up to the league to just tell people that. Don't, obey
but
the
you think about
limit.
it. You think about this for a minute. Okay, do you know why they put the grass in the infills at racetracks?
Oh, yeah,
because
to deter from that, I would think.
Right, because if it was asphalt, we'd all try to figure out a way to use it.
Right.
So, if you build something where someone could do that, there's a good chance that they would try to use it.
Yep. If it's paved, they'll drive on it.
Yeah. Local track down here where I lived, they call it Monadnock Speedway. It's a high bank, quarter mile, very fast. And
Monadnock's actually in this game.
Yep. Oh, yeah. Yeah, we raced it in the modifieds over to the other leagues that I run in. But I've actually physically raced on this track, and they had to put something down there to prevent them from going down there because everybody started coming off the turn 4, literally on the flat part of the track. So they put little bumps, and that didn't really deter them. So this year they repaved the track. You're not going to want to try it this time. They put a curb. I mean, they put a curve.
See,
so modifieds going over that are probably going to scratch the bottom of the car pretty good.
Yeah. Oh, so that's funny. They just put curbs in. They didn't even bother putting a wall down.
They didn't put a wall in. They used to have curbs like the kind of deter them a little bit. They were bouncy.
Yeah.
So they found out that the modifieds ended up found out that had more grip and it worked. So they said, all right, no. This time when they repaved it, they put it's like regular curbing like you'd see on the side of a road. It's probably a good 6 inches. You don't want to hit it.
Just a harsh 6-inch curb, not a transition. It's just.
Yeah, so we're getting ready to go back green with Brian Level out front.
I'm curious.
Josh.
Why? I'm just going to rewind this. why is this pole here? this pole, like, come on, who, like, let's watch these cars go through this corner right here with this pole here. That's just, anyway, sometimes I wonder about the cam file.
Yeah.
It's cool to have foreground elements, but when they're dead center in the middle of your screen for 10 seconds, come on, track guy. Well, you know what? Maybe there was a cam guy. Maybe it's not a track guy's fault. Track's fine. Cam guy, come on. I guess
Brian Lovell's leading.
I could just
Brian Lovell's, you're having too much fun.
Yeah.
Brian Lovell's leading, Josh Mercurio second, Doug Hillick third. Spires in fourth, and I think that is Mike Mangialardi in fifth.
Certainly is. Give him Bob Sire a little bit of a tap there, almost, Mike Mangialardi. Single file restarts here at SMO, which means, as you can see, the cars are single file.
Double file is kind of cool. Talladega Nights does that, but to me, I think it creates too many headaches.
Some leagues will do it until the headaches have been created, and then they'll say, okay, guys, single file, and then everybody switches to single.
Yeah. And they do that. If the race seems to get a little hectic, they ended up straightening them up.
Do they do it here? Do they do double file? And then, because now there's been 5 yellow flags, maybe they switched it.
They do single file starts.
That's what I thought. So for those
taking a poke back at Josh Eggs, number 85, Josh 2. He's just dropped down to, I believe he's going to come out in 11th position. Jamie Tedder and Josh Boyer just passed him. He's one of the guys that run the league. Really good kid. Like racing with him.
So Josh, too, with the connection issues at the start of the game, or at the start of the race, ended up, like 5 or 6 laps down, is now on the lead lap in 11th spot.
Yeah, so, it's just, he's with the amount of cautions we've had, he's worked his way back up there, and then he's able to hopefully keep himself up near the front. It seems like he's dropping back a little bit there, but that could be by design, too. It seems like in the middle is not a great place to be tonight.
No. 5 yellow flags so far tonight, with 21 laps run under yellow. Currently on lap 45.
We talked about Mike Mangialardi's car there. We probably should talk about him because he'll be the one next one to have bad luck. It's kind of a plain car, but I actually kind of like that. That looks nice.
Which one's that?
Mike Mangialardi in the 029. He's got that running the Ford Fusion. It's a simple paint scheme, but it looks good. Josh Wall just ducked up underneath him.
John.
Trying to get a run on, trying to push Doug Hillick past Bob Spire there. It seems kind of weird. Guys pull down to try to get going. It doesn't seem like they really draft up, as quick as that you would sometimes at the bigger tracks, but has a lot to do with the fact that you can get a little loose, a little tight maybe off the corner, and you don't carry as much speed as you would at a track that, there's none of that.
Yeah, I think this is a really fast track, and you can go wide open all day long, but if you do want to pull those aggressive moves, you really got to get in there on the right mark. Because your entry has a lot to do with your exit, especially here, because it is so fast. These guys are running about 180 mile an hour. Let's just see here now. Focus on John Wall and 0. 185 miles an hour going into that turn right there.
And he's making it work on the bottom with Jamie Tedder behind him there and Josh Boyer, 3 of the regulars at SMO, and they're making it work at the bottom. But if you noticed, I know you're not focused on it or not, but they are very tight. They're running, they're running nose to tail, very tight, good line, and that's and they got John Wall got spun around by Jamie there.
Yep.
I just want to say I think that was an assistance bump. We just went a little wrong. That's all.
Yeah, they were really close coming into that turn right there. And all it takes is a little bit. If the guy in the front has to compensate for any reason, there's nowhere to go. The 766 is on his lid. Oh, they helped him out there. Who's in first? Brian Lovell in the 043, the Valvoline rig, in first place.
And I think he's in that position where got himself in that position, kind of thinking of the Blaine Donnelly approach to this. If you're out front, you ain't gonna run into nobody. So
It's a good strategy.
you like it. I've never been a super speedway guy that could handle running out like that.
It's tough because I do like running. I mean, I'm an average of like, if it's a full race, I'm going to finish in 25th. That's kind of like where I end up. But if I'm up front, I'm pretty comfortable up there. I mean, especially around these guys, because all these guys on this track. Oh, jeez. Hey, what's up? Oh, sure, I'll take coffee. You want coffee, Rod?
Yeah, sure. Why not?
What do you want in your coffee?
Just sugar, black. That's the way I like it. Sugar and black.
She'll get you one.
It sounds good.
I told her, I said, we're broadcasting live tonight. If you want to interrupt with a fresh cup of coffee, I will allow it.
Absolutely. I don't blame you there.
We're under yellow right now, so that works too.
Yeah, it was perfect timing.
And she's cute, so what the hell.
It works.
Yeah. Sorry, what the heck? This isn't Tarnation TV Turbo. Sorry, Corey. Oh, Corey knows. I'll bet you Corey's all about the bad language. We won't tell Randy. We won't tell your dad, Corey. He's probably watching. And he's probably wearing a Bama. What do they wear? Roll Tide. He's probably wearing that unit. Because he's got all that cool apparel. Nobody coming into the pits on that cycle.
I happened to jump down and listen to what they were talking about. I think pit road was closed or something.
Pit road is closed, actually. I can see the flag down there. We'll zoom down to the flag. We're going to have to work on a broadcast helper a little bit. We might have to get him a little better mic or something, because it just seems like nobody can hear me down there. I was trying to see if we could pull Jamie up. I wonder why this yellow's been out for a little while. Why is pit road closed?
That's a good question.
We are focused currently on the NASCAR official that controls. Oh, where'd he go? There he is. That controls pit road. We assume that he will change this. I'll get into an area here. There he goes. It's green now.
It's not in. Come on, get in there.
So we are green on pit road now. There's my cat making an appearance. Thank you for the coffee.
All right, so we've got Mike. We got on the channel with Jamie Tedder. Jamie Tedder, this is Rod Weston up in the booth. Can you hear me?
Yes, sir. I've got you.
So it seems like you guys are having a few cautions tonight. This is a new track for me too, so I haven't really seen it, how it races and whatnot. Like a few guys getting loose and whatnot. How's the racing going out there for you?
Well, it's going okay. It's just there's a lot of not giving and taking like we would expect, but it is a speedway, super speedway. So, but overall, we're having a good time, and this track is very racy, and I'm not sure why we're having the yellows that we are.
Yeah, I think you're going to have a lot of that too. You got a lot of drivers that are new to this league. You guys, new racing, people together and stuff like that. That probably has a lot to do with it.
Oh yeah, and that's to be understood too. I mean, you're going to have guys that's never raced around each other, and you just got to learn everybody.
Kind of sad I missed it tonight because it looks like it's a lot of fun out there.
Yeah, I hate you're missing it too because we're having a blast. I just ended up getting a lap down myself and Zero. We bumper grabbed. It's what brought out this yellow, and it towed me because I ended up on my roof. So therefore, I'm a lap down, but that's fine. We'll get it back maybe.
That's cool. Let's let you get back to racing. Good luck tonight.
I got one for you, Jamie.
Thank
before
you.
we let you
Hold
go.
on.
Tarnation TV.
Blaine's got something for you.
Yeah, I was trying to remember at the start of the broadcast, your number 766 is a combination of two of your drivers, correct?
Correct. One was my dad who used to drive the 7, and 66 is Hawk, which we'll be having a broadcast race for him in August. But 7, Hawk drove our 66. He was one of the admins here at SMO. He passed away in 2011, and then my dad drove the 7, and he passed away on us back in 2020.
Right. So I was right then, because I said it was Ken, and it was Ken, right? Your father's name? Yeah, I remember it was Ken.
Kenny. Most people called him Kenny.
Right. And then I was like, oh, I had to look on my phone to see the other. I'm like, oh, it's the other tribute race. I can't remember the guy's name when I said Hawk, because I actually had it written down. So that was, yeah, that was cool. Thanks for the confirmation. That's a cool tribute.
Yes. Thank you.
Looking car, right? We'll let you get back to it. Have fun. Good luck.
Thank you, guys.
Thanks, Jamie. Good luck.
Yeah. So that was interesting. You were pretty close on that.
Yeah, I have it in my notes, because every time somebody hires us, of course, I write it on my calendar. So it's in my phone. So all I got to do is search SMO and all their races pop up. So then it was the tribute race for Ken and the number 7, and then the tribute race for Hawk coming up in August for the who drove the 66. It looks like they're speeding up.
Back green. We do apologize that that's the first person that we've been able to get up here tonight. I got a little assistance there with helping in the booth and whatnot, and didn't realize the mic was shut off and they weren't answering me. So we finally got somebody up into the booth, and we'll see if we get an opportunity. Maybe we're getting closer to the end, so we may not have an opportunity to drag somebody up again. But I'm glad we got Jamie up in there and we got that number squared away. So
we will be talking to the podium finishers, though, 3, 2, 1. So stick around post race. We'll chat with these guys quick before we wrap her up and go to bed.
Josh McCurl's got himself back out front. He's been trying to get out there all night, and he's running the high line, which like we talked about before when I was out there with the car. The higher lines to me seem to be a little bit more comfortable to drive.
Currently focused there on the 61 of Dick Jordan, that cat car.
Yeah, we had a lot of fun joking around with that, because before I actually, decided I was going to stay and race with these guys full time on Mondays, I just went over and raced a race with them. And I run the 19 in some leagues, but I also run the 31 in other leagues. I'd rather run the 31 in every league, but that doesn't always work. But somebody has that number for you. But so I just grabbed the only 31 car that was in there, and just so happened to be the cat car. So there was 2 of us out there with the same cars until I decided, I'm going to run with these guys. I'll paint one up.
Always a cool color scheme, too. Like I was seeing with the DeWalt being black and white, it always looks so cool on the track.
Josh McCurl's pulled out a little bit. He's kind of got away from these guys a little bit. They're running side by side behind him. Andrew Miller on the inside there of Javier, and he's got Brian Lovell pushing him past Javier Garon and trying to see that number. That would be Bob Spire right behind him. Behind Javier with Mike Mangialardi. So those are 3 guys that are super speedway racers that race together a lot. That would be Javier, Spire, and Mangialardi. Of course, they also, Mercurio too, and he's been kind of pulling up there and dragging. I think he's playing that game of trying to go wherever the energy's coming.
Oh, hard into the wall up there again. Yeah, another thing too, for the 27 of Sire, you could also call him Pumpkin. That's his green name.
Pumpkin.
Call sign, or whatever you want to call it.
Well, that's kind of like me. My name's Rod Weston, but I've always been called the Rodent.
Nice.
Yeah. Stuck.
That happens sometimes when I'm trying to type to people. I'm like, oh yeah, I'll make sure I send that car paint off to Rodney Sullins, and it'll say Rodent Sullins, because it's like I don't type the word rodent, but my phone thinks I'm trying to. Like, I don't know a guy named Rodent Sullins. I got to change it. Every time I type the word Rod, it just wants to go road.
We find out who was involved in that caution. That's where I'm headed to now.
Yep, we're backing it up. We had another look at that one. An absolute catastrophe. Hopefully everybody's okay.
Ooh, that was Roger Nebelsick again.
The 51 of Nebelsick.
Roger Nebelsick, yeah.
Okay. So we'll find it here on the fast forward version of Tarnation TV.
Kind of looked to me almost like just a little bit of side by side. Oh no. Okay, so Tom Musa got hot the apron. And that shot him right up into Roger Nevelsek. And actually, the back of Roger Nevelsek's car wasn't touching the ground for quite a while there.
Yeah, Moose is just with the drift, and then that hard hit. Larry D tagged. Yeah, really, it sent that car up into the air. See, now I'm seeing a bent hood. Am I seeing a bent hood, or is that the... That's got to be the paint scheme, right? That can't be a bent hood. It is a bent hood. I didn't think we were running damage on this.
I just concurred. Yeah, I just concurred with them. Yeah, they have damage on tonight. Normally they don't run it, but they do have it on tonight. So that's why we're seeing the damage to the cars.
Yeah, I just noticed that now. I'm like, that front of that thing got crushed.
Now, I'm going to see if we can find another driver here real quick. Josh Boyer, Rod Weston up in the booth. How's your race going, buddy?
It's going terrible.
Yeah, I've seen you up there in the front a little bit and then in the back. And
yeah, you know, enjoyed a few laps up front, but just keep getting caught up in these accidents and can't get away from it. Now the car's off the pace.
What's your damage looking like? Because we've seen some hard hits out there, and you guys are actually running damage this evening, which usually doesn't happen in this league. We were under the impression it was always damage off.
Yeah, so was I, to be honest with you. But I guess when they have more than 14 guys here, they run damage on, and it definitely changes the strategy bit here. I mean, I really honestly wasn't planning on running too hard as kind of up in the front tonight, and then that first pit stop, we all pitted, and the pits weren't open yet. We didn't catch that, and so we all got kind of funneled to the back, and I've been kind of stuck back here all night long and just keep getting into incidents, and like you said, the damage just keeps adding up, and this last one I've got a little bit of motor damage, so I'm a little off the pace. I can just hang with the draft, but now it's just hoping that maybe the big one happens at the right time and we skirt through it and get a top 5 maybe out of this thing.
the good thing is, too, though, you don't have any points tonight, open race, and there's no points racing. So I think you're currently, second in points with these guys. So that's not going to hurt you too bad.
Yeah, it definitely opens it up. You kind of like just aim for an open spot and hit the gas and hope you make it, right?
So
if it works.
What's the fuel window out here this evening? Are you guys able to make it to the end now? Because I see nobody's really doing anything pit strategy-wise. It's obviously you guys got enough to get to the end of the 11 to go.
Yeah, I think it was like 24, 25 laps per tank. So once we got inside of that, we were all good to go. It's just a matter of, there actually is a little bit of tire wear here. If you want to run the low line, you scrub off a little bit more tire than what you would normally expect at a super speedway. So I was watching that early in the race thinking like, okay, that's going to make a difference. And now I think we're all good to go. We're just going to race hard to the end, and let's hope we can get some green flag laps. It's been a lot of these pace laps tonight.
All right. Well, thank you for speaking with us. I'll let you get back to it and have fun.
All right,
yeah,
guys,
man.
thanks.
Did you want any shout-outs before we send you back to the room there?
I just thought thanks everybody for hosting this tonight. It's always good to race with guys in a bigger field than we're used to on Monday nights, and some new guys here I haven't raced with before, and it's been fun, and just try and make it to the end. Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you. So we were kind of right with our thoughts before how the tire wear was, going to be a factor.
Yeah, and then the damage, like I said, with some of the hard knocks we've seen, I'm surprised I haven't noticed the damage, but I'm not 100% familiar with the damage model on the mod. Maybe it's not really as pronounced as like the next gen mod. The cars look like they've gone through the crusher. Maybe this is a little less amplified. That's why we didn't really notice.
Coach, they could be too running the moderate damage, which is it still shows up, but it is not quite as bad.
Yeah, sometimes it's not as visible.
And the pace car lights are off, so we're going to be going green here after we get around the turn 4. But I'm glad we did bring Josh up there because that answered some of our questions. We were a little confused there after that first caution where Josh Boyer come out in the lead, and the next thing you know, he was dropping back. A few of them were dropping back. We were trying to figure out what happened to him. Well, we know that they pitted too early. Getting down to about we have 10 to go. Josh Mercurio up front. Andrew Miller is second. Javier Underground in third. Brian Lovell is in fourth. And do you realize Mike Mangialatti's in fifth? That is all Talladega Nights guys.
That's cool.
Bob Spires in there ahead of my Angelardi. Sorry, I missed him.
Currently on the screen there, showing the upcoming broadcast for Tarnation TV. Busy weekend coming up at 9 o'clock on Saturday. Join us right here. All times are in Eastern Standard Time, of course. 9 o'clock Eastern Standard Time on Saturday evening. Ken Roberts presents the King of Kings Eliminator event. It's going to be a lot of fun watching the race from the back as to, drivers who get eliminated. That's going to be really cool. And then the day after on Sunday, Mark Paglia is sponsoring the IPIS Excellence Race number 9 in that series. The last race before the playoffs start, the Muscle Car Therapy 125 at 7 p.m. on Sundays, a little bit earlier on Sundays. So yeah, thanks for watching. And if you like what you see, lots of stuff coming up.
Yeah, truck races are going to be interesting. The points are, I think the top 5 guys in there are doing, pretty much set. And then some of the guys in the back are, going to be fighting to keep in that top 12. So we'll see how that goes.
Mm-hmm.
Ryan Lovell pulls down low on the backstretch there underneath Javier to try to see if he can't take away third. But remember, we thought that the bottom wasn't really working as well and more tire wear. So every time we see somebody try to go down there by themselves, they seem to struggle to try to get by. Of course, if he can catch the draft with the 2 guys in front of him, which he did, and that helped pull him by Javier.
I'm thinking, too, if you do it early, you might have that fresh tire advantage. And now he's back up in the middle again, to kind of stabilize.
I think what we saw there and how he did that was he pulled down below him, but when he went to the front stretch, the 2 cars in front of them actually dropped to the bottom of the track, shortening up the track, trying to make it as straight as they can. Mm-hmm. And by doing that, they pulled out in front of Brian Lovell, which gave him a little bit more of a pull, and that's how he got by Javier.
Another big wreck back there. We're going to watch these guys on 10 to go at the line. Josh Mercurio will be the leader of that lap as the pace car comes out to grab everybody. We will go into replay mode and see exactly what happened there. Looked like another couple of hard hits. Now that we know damage is on.
And to me, looking at it, if I had to say, you had two cars trying to occupy the same spot. Doug Hullock was on the high side there, and RC was on the bottom side, and they just kind of one drifted up, one drifted down, and touched each other, and around they went.
Yeah. That's it. You get stuck on the line, and, depending... Oh, yeah, a couple of really hard swats. Scrape the whole right side of the car off there. That's 61. This is pretty neat here on the front straight.
I think we ought to grab somebody.
The Tarnation TV.
I think we ought to grab somebody and bring him up here. Let's grab Brian Lovell up in here and see how, what his chances are.
Sounds like a plan.
Brian Lovell, Rod Weston up in the broadcast booth, buddy. You're in third. You think you can get her done or what?
Brother, I'm going to try my best. I'll see what I got.
That was a pretty good move you made there on the Javier to get into the third spot. Running out of time, though. Going to probably only be about 4 or 5 laps left. I have to give him hell.
Yeah, I got to get it done. So I don't know to say. Got to get it done, man.
All right, buddy. Well, hopefully we'll see you in the top 3. We'll get to interview you later. Good luck, bud.
Hey, man, I appreciate you hollering at me, and I appreciate everyone watching, tuning in.
Yeah, man, you've been up there a long time today, so you've been in the right spot, just watching everything happen in the mirror, which is always a good plan.
Yeah, I run a bunch of practice laps and food around with my linearity in a sweet spot, kind of sweet spot.
Oh, right on. You get right into the nitty gritty of that thing, eh? Do you adjust your steering ratio at all, or do you just mess with the sliders for the linearity and the assistance?
I fool with all of it, depending on where I'm racing.
Yeah, it looks like you found it, because now, I can say you're looking at that top 3 finish right now. So with 5 to go, it's going to be a sprint. We're used to that.
Yeah, I'd like to get my team to win, and SMO, stand proud for them for 20 years.
How often do you come out and run with these guys?
Yeah, I'm going to have to, man.
Yeah, it's pretty
start
cool.
doing that.
Yeah, it's a good group of guys over here. It's cool. And there's usually about 15, 20 people every time I've raced with them. It's a pretty good show on Sunday, Monday.
Yep, I'm definitely going to have to get hooked up and start racing with them.
And play with us on Monday because I race with them on Monday night.
When you're not
I'll be
broadcasting.
there with you, Rod. Yeah.
All right, well, we'll let you get back at it. Good luck, buddy. Let's see you get to the front.
I'll try, bud.
All right, have a good one, bud.
All right,
Thanks.
see you.
Thanks, Brian. We saw a couple of guys heading down pit road there.
Well, like I said, I do apologize. We would have had more people up here tonight earlier, but we had some technical difficulties getting a hold of them, and so we're trying to make up for it, I guess.
So Dick Jordan on pit road grabbing a set.
He was one of the ones involved in that accident, so that makes sense. If you're going to be in the back, especially where there's a little bit of tire wear, but you think about it, you go out there with new tires, should be able to run the bottom without having as much trouble as we've seen a lot of people doing it, because the fresh tires will give you a little more grip.
And that's cool. Doug Hillick as well. Both of these guys came down here and got a full service 4. So they got fresh 4 tires on here, which is great going into the final few laps when we end up going green again here. And we got Larry D, Nevilsick, 2, Tedder, Musa, Randy Waugh, Jay Boyer, Larry Wyndham, Tom Goodman, Mike Mangialardi, Bob Pumpkin Sire, Javier Negron, Brian Lovell, Andrew Miller, and Josh Mercurio.
So it'll be interesting to see what these guys that are the top 3 right now.
Yes, interesting.
They're not the normal drivers that run over here, so I'll be interested in seeing their opinion of the track and how it raced. And the guys from SMO, I keep wanting to say SHO, thinking of the Ford, power manual performance division there, but they know the track, they've run it plenty of times, and now these guys that are new to it, they'd be interested in seeing their input, I should say.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun. It's a solid track.
Yeah, I like it. It's too bad. I've been kind of bummed in a roundabout way that I didn't get a chance to race it, but I will do it next time. Looks like the pace cars just kind of, it does a little trick on the backtracks there. It kind of thinks like it's going to drop into pit road, but it doesn't. Thought it was driving, pulling down, but it waits until the front stretch. It's the only car that uses the front stretch pits. Did you notice that?
Yep, yeah, the pace car. He'll park right at the end of the front straight pit. So his entire parking space is like a mile long.
Yeah. What, 3 laps to go?
Yep.
It's going to be interesting.
Jeffrey Elliott in the chat there saying he didn't get an invite. He would have ran tonight. I don't think you need an invite for this race, do you? You can just
I don't know. I don't know. Like, where all of a sudden I see a bunch of the guys from, Talladega Nights over here. I'm not even really sure, where they got the invite or how they found out about it, but probably it was posted on Facebook or something.
Mm-hmm. Andrew Miller to the bottom, pushed with Brian Lovell beside him or behind him there. Josh Mercurio got a little bit loose in the middle of that corner.
That was the interesting thing with this track on the Super Speedway. So,
lap number 69 of 70. Can Andrew Miller in the 47 lock tight? Is that a Chevy? Yes. These guys are fighting for second place. That's what he wants to see.
oh, absolutely. Brian Lovell put it down there. It just didn't stick the way he wanted it to. He's still out there on the older tires, so it didn't quite grab the way he wanted to. He had to lift off so that he didn't run into him. Now he's stuck on the outside groove, and I think he's just not. It's not that the outside groove is bad. It's just everybody is kind of sticking together in the bottom, getting that draft by him.
Watch how close to that pink car gets to that wall and just shoves this thing down into these corners here. He's running that high line something fierce, Josh Mercurio.
Trying to get a run on Andrew Miller there in the backstretch, and it's just he's gaining on him. I don't know if he's going to have enough time to get there or not.
No, I don't think so. They're driving the wheels off this thing, but Andrew Miller is on rails coming out of the last turn here.
Ooh, big crash in the turn 4. Josh Curio goes for it, though.
It's a close one, but it looks like it's going to be. Holy moly.
And Bob Spire was able to beat out Brian Level just at the end for third. Didn't see what happened back there, but I did see cars flying all over the place.
Yeah, they were running hard. That battle for the lead was great. Andrew Miller had that thing on lockdown. Put the flag in the window.
He kind of ran, was running around back there, in second, third, whatever, and then when it came time to it, he just decided to flick the switch and go for it.
There's a thank you bump from the 99. Congratulations, thanks for showing up. There's Bob Sire in the 27. Sorry, Bob, I didn't have your car file somehow. I don't know how that happened. There's Andrew burns the place to the ground.
I went back there just to see what happened, and as we talked about before, the accordion effect. Somebody had to lift a little bit. The accordion effect went back through, and Josh Boyer kind of got tagged and spun around, and next thing you know, it was every bunch of cars going everywhere. It's having fun down the front stretch with that thing, spinning it around and just hitting the grass. They're going to have to fix the grass now. Thank God the race is over, because he's going to have it all chewed up.
If these guys didn't chew up the grass, we wouldn't have to employ landscapers, so tear it up. Keep those boys employed, and girls. Oh, look at that. Put it right into victory circle. There's a photo op right there.
Well, let's see if we can find Bob Spire and bring him up here. Talk to him about his evening.
Yeah, we got Bob, Josh, and Andrew. We'll be talking to all these guys. Pumpkin, how you doing, man? Third place finish.
Hey, what's going on, Tarnation TV?
So that was not a bad deal. You ended up with third there. Got Brian Lovell at the end. How'd your night go other than that? It was bouncing around back and forth. And you stayed out of most of the trouble, I believe.
Yeah, I got into, I think it was that first wreck. Got a little bit of damage. My pit crew got me fixed up, and then I just kind of rode around, just kind of holding position. And there was 2 or 3 wrecks that I was center mass for, and I just kind of drove through it. Got run over under a brake check, but recovered, and just kind of kept going, and kept top 5-ish.
Yeah, Ned. So how did you like the track? To me up here, I did get a few laps down there on it, but to me it seemed like the bottom was a little tighter than the top, and it kind of seemed that way. We talked with a few drivers earlier. What's your opinion of the track? Did you like it? Did you not like it?
I absolutely loved it. The middle groove was the place to be. If you ran the bottom 1 and 2 had a little bit of a push, and 3 and 4 you could run that yellow line. But if you ran that middle, it was perfectly smooth. But in the draft, you had to burp it a little bit to not get into the back of the car that was in front of you.
Lane, you have any questions for Pumpkin?
Yeah, it's just thanks for covering me there, because I was getting all the stats, getting the stats going and whatnot. But yeah, man, it was a wild race. We didn't even realize damage was on, because these guys usually run with damage off.
Yeah, I found out early on. I didn't know exactly what the damage level was, and then somebody had mentioned, one of the admins had mentioned 14 cars or more. They run moderate damage, but otherwise it's no damage.
That's weird, because we've broadcasted here before, and I know there's always been more than 14 cars. We're going to have to talk to the admins and the officials, and yeah, whatever. It was a cool race. I mean, there was a total of, let's check. 9 caution flags for 33 laps, but it was a 70 lap race. So we do get a lot of really good green flag runs. The fuel window, we were being told, it was somewhere in the mid 20s.
Yeah, I think it was somewhere around 25, 26 laps on a full can, maybe a lap or two less. But yeah, you could make a decent run on it.
Did you find an issue with any tire wear being? Was that a problem at all?
Just like somebody had mentioned, and somebody of you guys had brought up to the interview booth during the race. Somebody had mentioned if you ran the low line, you got a little bit more tire wear. But if you kind of ran the middle groove, kind of like where everybody else is running, it wasn't quite as bad, but the tire wear wasn't particularly horrible, so to speak.
That's good. Yeah, you don't. It's a little bit of tire problems can always be very cool and interesting for a broadcast when you can see guys sliding around going, okay, their tires are wearing out. But yeah, usually on custom tracks, they've got it dialed in pretty good where, you could really drive that thing hard and probably it would totally become an issue. But if you're smooth enough, it's usually doable.
Yes, it is. Yeah, the only thing that I noticed going into 1 or 2, if you were able to keep it down on the yellow line if you hit the entry just right, but you could actually over rotate and get them left side tires down on the apron, which would push you out.
Right.
But other than that, it was, like I said, 3 and 4, you could hug that no problem. But the obvious race sign was the middle groove there.
Well, congratulations on your 3rd place finish, Bob. Anybody you want to thank for tonight's race and situation with you and all that? So the floor is yours, buddy.
I'd like to thank everybody that came out tonight for the 20th anniversary of SMO. I've raced this league on and off for many years. Some good, clean racing up front. And I want to thank Brian Lavelle for pushing me to a podium finish.
Okay, well, congratulations on your 3rd place finish, and go enjoy.
Thank you.
Awesome, Bob. Thanks, bud. Have a good night, man. Josh Mercurio live on Tarnation TV. Most laps led this evening with 21. 2nd place finish, man. You were liking the front of this race. The car was definitely clean, but I recall you get into a couple of tussles early on.
Yeah, when you got up to the very top in 1 and 2, I don't know. The track's backwards because we pit on the back straight, so I don't exactly know where I am all the time. But one of the corners you got up there, and the car would just break loose. And you could get a lot of speed up there, but it just was hard to control. And I think with 20 laps into the race, it swapped ends on me, and I almost hit the pit wall down there. But after that, I mean, the car didn't have a lot of damage, and yeah, I just fought my way back up to the front and held on to that top spot for a while.
It was a good spot to be, that front, because there was, like I said, 9 caution flags tonight, and some pretty crazy damage. Only on a couple of cars. Most guys, that got in wrecks didn't get too badly damaged, but like you said, like running the front of the pack is always a good spot to be. And we were talking about, like, I've raced on this track with these guys before, and in practice I thought I was going crazy. I'm like, why I keep, like, there's 2 pit roads. It's such a weird thing because you've got a pit road at the stripe, and then you've got that one on the back that you need to use to actually get service. It's very confusing, and I kind of like it because it's unique. Why?
The front stretch pit road is for the pace car only.
Right.
We talked about that.
Reserved ones.
Yeah. He gets his own pit road, that pace car guy.
Safer that way, I guess.
Yeah, I guess so.
Yeah, I noticed that you were kind of, you hung around after you had that episode where you got spun there, and then you got back up near the front, and you kind of hung around there a little bit, and then finally got yourself out in the lead. And then, of course, you got snookered by Andrew Miller at the end, but that was a good run for you.
Yeah, thanks. I mean, I've raced with Andrew before, and you know, for a second there, I was thinking he was going to stick with me, but then you know, he just got such a good shove from the 043, and if I was in his spot, I would have took it too. So, and then at the end there, I think the battle for third just didn't settle down in time, so I didn't have a push to make a really good run at him at the end of the race. But it was still a lot of fun. SMO, these guys, really clean. I mean, super speedway racing, it breeds cautions, but they race a lot of short tracks during the year, and yeah, they're a bunch of clean guys. Super awesome, super fast. So if you're looking for a league, man, you should check them out Monday nights.
It's an interesting league too, because they race a lot of they race, every track they race is great, but every track they race is rare. Like nobody really races, you know, some of the tracks that they run. I'm like, what's this track? And it's awesome. You know,
Every time I show up, I'm like, oh, I've never downloaded this track before. This is awesome.
Last week we were Evergreen. So you know what I mean? That's not a track that normal people, you know, most of the not on the NASCAR schedule and anything like that. It was a fun race.
There's a great little track. I don't know if you guys have ever run it. Sasuka East.
Oh yes. Yep.
It's the Sasuka circuit, but it's just I guess there's an East configuration, and it's a road course, man, but it's a ton of fun and super cool. I don't believe I raced with it here. I can't remember where I raced that track. It was a league somewhere, and I've never seen it before, and I've never seen it again. But Sasuka East is a really cool little road circuit.
Yeah, that's a cool one. I think they raced, was it Alton Park here in this league a while ago? That was a fun race. And then, you say, I mean, I download a track and I think, oh man, this is just some no-name short track in the middle of Ohio. I've never heard of this place before, but we have an awesome race on it. And so.
Yeah, I think
like
Sasuka.
High praises for this league.
Yeah, I think that Sasuka East configuration was, I think NASCAR actually raced there in real life once in like 1978 or something, and somebody put it in the game because why not, right? And
why not? NASCAR raced that because I remember that was one of the races where both of the Earnhardts were on track. So it was like 98, I think.
Oh, they had the exposition races over there for the Japan.
Oh, that's what it was. They would fly to Japan and do exhibition stuff.
Yep.
Gotcha.
They had a super speedway over that they ran, and then they ran a road course over there.
Sweet.
Well, well, Josh, you're second place finish. Congratulations.
Yeah.
Gotta thank people. So the floor is yours.
Yeah. I mean, I have to thank everybody. I race at NNSCRA most of the week. They race 2 days a week now. Normally it's 3 days a week. Right now we're putting on some special events during the year. In 2 Saturdays, the 13th, we have an endurance race at Pocono. So it's gonna be 6 hours at Pocono.
Nice.
Yeah, so it's gonna be cool. There's gonna be driver swaps and all that. So if you're interested, you can let me know on Facebook. And then after that, we've got an all-star race at Talladega, which is open to everybody. So it says all-star, but you can be an all-star just by signing up. So that'll be the weekend after. That's the 20th of April. So yeah, come check us out at NNSCRA, and then of course at SMO. These guys are great too.
Were you guys responsible for the endurance? Was it 1,000-mile race at some Baja track or something?
Yeah, so there's it's the Bull Run 1000. That wasn't us. I think Roger Nebelsack was the guy that organized that. But that was an event that was on NR in 2003, and it's been revived recently. But yeah, that's another endurance event. That one takes about 5 hours. And I mean, not to brag, but I also am the reigning champion of that race as well. So
no brag.
Nice.
Yeah. All right. Well, I got to go, guys. But thanks for the interview, and thanks for the broadcast.
Well, congratulations on your second place finish.
Thank you. Have a good night, bud. 1,000 miles, 5 hour. Yeah, at least they do the driver swaps. That's cool. Andrew Miller, man, winning this thing, leading only 3 laps. Doesn't matter. Who cares? Congratulations on your first place finish, dude.
Hey, thanks, dude. I think win number 1 on Tarnation TV. I'm not mistaken. So that's a rarity, but
Probably, yeah.
Still the nerves kind of calming down a little bit after that one.
I take it you enjoyed it.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Is that like a thing? Like, it doesn't matter how many times you race. When you're down in the last, 10, 15 laps and you're going, I might be able to win this thing. I don't need to pit anymore. Like, come on. And there it is. Like, it doesn't matter if every day you play this thing. If it's going to be a win, it's tense. You're gripping that wheel. You're not breathing. You're concentrating.
Oh yeah, the adrenaline hits, the nerves start to kick in, which honestly has kind of bitten me before, but I'm just trying to kind of keep that level is honestly critical. And in that case, it was just like, all right, just defend the inside line once I took the lead. If you can defend that inside lane, you should be in pretty good shape. And that's what I tried to do, and evidently it worked. But holy moly, when it's in a race like that, especially when it's that tightly packed, it's basically modern day Atlanta, where it's all but a super speedway, but not quite, because you're still like going flat out in the corners, especially in the draft, is very iffy. You do have to lift off a little bit. So when it's like that, it's like, all right, how am I going to be able to hold on to this? And
Yeah.
I guess I did it right.
How do you keep, and again, like, how do you keep all those guys behind you? And then you see the names of all these guys behind you, and you're like, I shouldn't be in first. Like, I've won a couple races, and it just feels weird because I'm not out there to win, really. I'm just out there to drive. And then it comes down to it, and you're like, no, I want to win this now. Like, you don't go out there to necessarily win. You just like having fun with your friends online and do some good hard racing. But then when it comes down to it, it's like, holy moly, I'm going to win this thing. Look at all these people behind me. These guys, you're always in good company, I guess is what I'm trying to say.
I mean, tonight was definitely a good mix of guys from a few different places. Of course, like Talladega Nights that you're familiar with. I know Josh Mercurio from some other leagues. Of course, Doug Hewlick, who also races RTG. Brian Lovell's a little bit of everywhere, kind of like me.
Yeah.
And Josh too as well. So when you get that group of guys, it creates a little more of a unpredictability to it. And I like to think of myself as a pretty darn good driver, but I sure as heck ain't an elite one. If I win a handful of races in one calendar year, in all the races that I do, it's like, hey, that's pretty dang awesome. So
there's so much talent, right? It's hard to get there.
And being on a controller doesn't help, I will admit. But that's just how I do it. And everyone's gonna probably roast me for it and say, like, dude, just get one. It's like, I'm just loving life just with how I'm doing it.
I mean, there's guys who use keyboards, and I mean, that's why they have all these input momentum sliders in the game menu. The thing was made 21 years ago, and they have input momentum sliders for a reason. If you're going to use a gamepad or a keyboard or a joystick, like, you can play this thing.
Exactly, and that's what makes it awesome. That's why it's still as popular as it is, and I'm glad to be a part of it. I'm glad that, I could win the 20th anniversary race of a league that's been around that long, even though I've not even been in NR since it was 2017 when I first started, and I've only been in SMO since late last year. So I don't know, maybe that feels a little foul winning this particular race, but I don't know. That none of them seem to have a problem with it, so I guess I won't either.
That's the thing. Like, we were talking about SMO being that league that's been around for so long, and they'll gladly accept anybody in there. And if you're gonna come out and win one, this is the one to do it. Another question for you: do you still broadcast on Top Dragster?
Once or twice. Not nearly as often. If anyone is out there that wants me to do any broadcasting for them, certainly let me know. I had a couple planned, however, of course, that also fell when I fell with laryngitis, so that was fun. Sorry, Mercurio, for not being able to stream that finale of yours, but yep, if anyone wants to, certainly let me know. Blaine, if you ever need another voice up here as well.
That was funny because
if
you've
Rod
helped
can't
me.
make it.
Yeah, you've helped me out in the past before. And then I remember we were talking about it earlier in this broadcast of how you came and helped me out. I'm like, hey, if you ever need a hand, and you shot me a message. I'm like, oh, cool, I get to be a co-host. That's so cool. And then I get to the computer and my game burned me. I've never had a problem with this thing ever. And I couldn't get it to boot up. And I'm like, Andrew needs me right now, and I can't figure this thing out. It needed to be reinstalled because a couple of files I must have just accidentally clicked on something and dragged it to the desktop, and the game wouldn't fire. And it would have been faster for me just to reinstall it. But I tried to fix it, and I couldn't do it, and I felt horrible. It was the only time the game's ever burned me was when I was supposed to back you up. But yeah,
dude, don't worry about it.
It's a two-way street, right? Like, I got if I need you, I can call you. If you need me, always, I'll be there, and I'll be on 3 hours early to make sure the game's working.
Yeah, I get you, but no, I honestly, broadcast the races is fun, but I've had the privilege of being able to co-commentate on Flat Out Racing Network, and I honestly found that being able to co-commentate, like being the color commentator, was honestly just as fun, if not more so. So
it is different.
I'm really, I really am happy to do that. Again, I'm not trying to take Rod's job here. I don't want it to sound that way, man. But no, it's a fun deal. It feels a little more laid back, and but I still can really get into it. So that's why I enjoy that part of it the most. But again, if anyone out there is hearing this and you want me to stream a race for you or anything, certainly let me know. I've got the ability to do it, and I'm happy to do it again. Just let me know on Facebook, Discord. Those are probably the two best ways.
Cool. Go ahead, Rod. I was stepped on you a couple times there.
It's all good. I'm in no worry about me losing my job. It's all good. No, I just it's different up here in the booth, and not a lot of people really can. They all think they can do it, but there's a little bit more to it. But yeah, good job tonight. I say you snookered them. I do. I thought you were just being smart back there, and then you kind of got underneath Josh there and took over the lead. And then I find out he races with a controller, and that's even better. I mean, it's amazing. Like you said, this game is as old as it is. It's still competitive with the controller or some of these guys that are running $3,000 wheels.
Yeah, it's I will admit that move to take the lead there wasn't necessarily a move that I intended to take the lead with. I just knew that if Brian had a run, he was going to take it. Mm-hmm. So that was more of a block, but then, and I thought he was going to take me 3 wide, but he stuck with me. He gave me that shot, and I'm like, I can't not take this. So I was intending to stick with Josh a little longer than I did, but it's as you say, like, you get a game plan, and then once that green flag flies, it all just goes right out the window. So
it's funny,
but it was a great racing with Josh there.
Because I understand the hesitation to go for that pass because it was early. There was still 3 laps left. A move like that usually takes place, in the last couple of corners of the race, not in the last couple of laps.
Exactly. And that's what I was thinking. I was like, if I can stick with Josh for just a lap, and then that'll be one less lap that anyone else can try to do something. I was pushing him great up until that last caution. And I was like, okay, let me just try to do that again for a lap, maybe 2, and then try to make my move. But once the momentum came when Brian shoved me there, it was like you can't not take that run. And so that's what I did. And well, evidently it worked out. And then Brian just trying to defend the inside.
Yeah, and Brian knows how to push too. So it's he knows how to lead, and he knows how to push people to the lead. So. It's a guy you do, like you said, it's a guy you want to jump in front of in a situation like that because he's not going to turn you.
No, he won't, but he will take every gap you leave him, and if I left him that gap, he would have happily taken it, so I didn't want to give it to him. He, as you said, he was a good sportsman there, and gave me the shove when he could have easily taken that run to try to get underneath me and Josh which at that point in the race, honestly, I wouldn't blame him, but he stuck with it, and I'm very grateful for that. If it wasn't for that shove, I probably would not be. I probably would not have won that race. Top 3 at best, if anything.
Right. Yep. And now, like you said, the winner, Andrew Miller of the SMO 20th Anniversary Special.
That was way too fancy of an intro, but thank you for that.
We'll take it. We'll take it. Yeah, man.
You can't take it away from you now.
Nope.
Yeah, exactly.
It's there. It exists.
Hey, I appreciate you guys, and I will just say I had a lot of luck in there too. I said to Josh Boyer, there was a moment that if I had passed him half a second later as he was coming down the track in one of those crashes, me and him our cars would have merged into one, and that would have been it. I'm sure you guys were seeing some of the wrecks there, and hopefully you caught some of my dodge in them. Some of that I will admit I'm pretty proud of. Some of that was just pure, and our gods were looking at me or something.
Right on, man. Yeah, well, congratulations on your win. I guess we should probably wrap this deal up and go to bed because it's almost 11 o'clock, so that's cool. But yeah, man, thanks for joining us up here this evening. Awesome race, and congratulations on the win. If you have any final words, let her rip.
I guess I'll just conclude by saying, Jaden, I love you a lot. Hello to Kai and everyone from that server. Of course, Jamie, Andy, Ethan, Lance, Connor. Love you guys to death. Thank you, Blaine and Rod, for putting on this stream. Thank you to SMO and everyone that's keeping NR 2003 going. All the guys at RLM as well. Seriously, means a lot. And hopefully I'll be on a Tarnation TV stream again. If it's in Victory Lane, well, then that means that something's rigged, because that has no chance. But we did it.
Yeah, we'll have to inspect your computer for cheats.
Oh, yeah, there we go. Good job, buddy.
And controller cheats, that's what it is. No, yeah, controller cheat. But thank you guys, and you guys have a good night.
Awesome. You as well. Thanks, Andrew. There he is, Andrew Miller, your winner this evening. So yeah, cool, great race, great event.
Yeah.
And a great, nice top 3. Andrew Miller winning, followed by Josh Mercurio and Bob Pumpkin Sire in 3rd. And
Brian Lovell right there.
Brian Lovell. Yeah, Brian Lovell in 4th, being thanked pretty much by all 3 of those guys, helping them along the way. So
you find a good pusher like that, you usually try to keep them behind you.
Yeah, Brian had 16 laps led, but didn't lead the last one. So yeah, congratulations to Andrew. Very, very cool. Check him out definitely on Top Dragster. He's on YouTube. He's got the NASCAR 2003 broadcasting as well. So lots of voices, lots of races coming at you.
I do like the way that they put that, like Josh said, I figured Andrew would stay with me, but, you get down to the last lap. If you got an opportunity, you're going to go for it. Within the last 5 laps, usually you try.
Yeah, you have friends up until that point, and then you just got to hope they don't turn you.
Yep. Oh, remember the team race, they got guys working really, really good together. The next thing you know, we were like, what? They're not on your team. Whoop, they're not together anymore.
Yep, so much for that plan. Out the window it goes. But yeah, thanks for watching, everybody who did watch the broadcast this evening. Thank you very much for tuning in. Tune in again on Saturday and Sunday. We got a couple more big ones for you. There's the King of Kings Eliminator race on Saturday at 9 p.m. and Sunday at 7. We go live with race number 9 of the IPIS Excellence Series over at Talladega Nights. Of course, we want to thank SMO Racing Simulations, because this event was brought to you by us in honor of them, and it was definitely a ride.
Very good race, very good race. And it was an interesting track, and we saw a lot of different stuff, but I kind of missed the chance that I didn't get to run on it.
Yeah, well, we could do it next time. Like you said, Andrew offered up his services, so if you want to race on it, we might just have a different person sit in the co-hosting.
There you go.
There's always that option. And we'll have
There's
you
always
on
that
the
option.
button.
All right. Well, I think it was a good run.
Yeah, man, it was. Yeah, thanks again, everybody, for watching. And thank you, Rod, for the co-hosting duties. It's been a lot of fun.
Absolutely.
And we'll keep on keeping on. We'll see you next time on Tarnation TV. And yeah, hope you join in. Hope you subscribe or unsubscribe. We don't care. Watch if you want to. Don't watch if you don't want to. We love you either way. Have yourself a good night. Keep your stick on the ice.
You know,